Hello everyone! Today we are diving into the process of upgrading NetBox from version 3 to 4. This is a crucial update that brings the new features, improvements and bug fixes. Let's break it down the steps and what we need to make this transition smooth. Currently I have NetBox version 3 on Ubuntu 20.04 with PostgreSQL 12. This setup has served us well, but the time to upgrade to stay current with the latest development and security patches. Okay, what issue I have to solve? Requirements for new version of NetBox, we have to use Python 3.9. By default, Ubuntu version 20.04 has a Python version with 3.8 and PostgreSQL 12, but I want a more newer version. For example, I want a 14. In this case, I want to upgrade new operation system to Ubuntu 22.04. I highlighted 7 steps for upgrading to new version of NetBox. First, start upgrading operation system to Ubuntu 22.04. This allows us to get a newer version of Python. Instead Python 3.4, we will get Python 3.10 that allows us solve our requirements to newer version of NetBox. The next steps we're migrating with the Ubuntu 22. We got a new version of PostgreSQL 14, and in this case we have to migrate data from PostgreSQL 12 to PostgreSQL 14. And the next steps, we change the port configuration from PostgreSQL 14 with the port 5433 to 5432. It ensures the NetBox application can connect to the database without issues. And with migration from older version to newer version NetBox, only users migrate to new version but not password migrate. We have to alter NetBox user in new version of PostgreSQL with password in what we define in configuration.py file. After that, I migrate NetBox from 3.7 to 4.2 version. In 6th step, I install one Python package, Python VNV, and finally we remove the old PostgreSQL 12 instance and finally check what we got. Before we start the update, I'm gonna show you what data I have and the software version I currently have in NetBox. This is the only IP address field in the demo, and you can see the NetBox version of the bottom right corner of the screen. Right now you can see the version of operation system that I'm about to update, the version of Python and the PostgreSQL instance. Let's update to the latest version of current Ubuntu release branch. During the update process, Ubuntu uses the additional SSH port 1022 for connection. You have to open in your firewall. And now that you've completed all previous steps, you're ready to upgrade to the latest version of the Ubuntu operation system. During the upgrade process, you'll be prompted with various questions related to the update. Simply answer yes, and all questions keep of the default options as they are. Now that the system has been updated to version 22.04, Python has also been automatically updated from version 3.8 to 3.10. And the PostgreSQL instance of version 14 has been installed alongside version 12. This meets the requirements for installing NetBox version 4. But before upgrading NetBox, let's migrate the PostgreSQL data from version 12 to version 14. To do this, we'll stop all instances, start the data migration. Now that all data has been migrated, we have to change the port of PostgreSQL 14 from 5433 to 5432, as 5432 is the default port for PostgreSQL. Previously it was occupied by PostgreSQL version 12. Now we can remove PostgreSQL version 12. Let's start PostgreSQL 14. It occupied port 5432. The next step will be to create a NetBox user account password, which NetBox will use to connect to the database. This is because passwords are not included in the export during migration. We'll switch to the Postgres user and launch the PostgreSQL Management Console utility. I'm testing the database connection. The connection was successful. First things first, you need to get the latest version of NetBox. Head over to the NetBox GitHub repository and download the latest release. You can either clone the repo or just download the zip file. Once you've got the zip file, it's time to unpack it. Navigate to the directory where you download it and unpack it. Now here's the important part. You don't want to lose your existing configuration, so copy over the configuration PY, dap-config PY, extra plugin PY files from your old version NetBox to new version NetBox directory. Remove old version of NetBox. Now create symbolic link to point to the new NetBox version. Set the owner and group of the symbolic link NetBox to the NetBox user and group. Navigate to NetBox directory. Before you start upgrade, you have to install package module for Python VNV, which use it to create virtual environments. Let's install it. NetBox comes with a handy upgrade script that takes care of most of the heavy lifting. Navigate to the NetBox directory and run. The upgrading process takes a couple of minutes. Please wait until it's done. Once the upgrade script finishes, you'll need to restart the NetBox services to apply the changes. Now open up your browser and head to your NetBox instance. If everything went smoothly, you should see new version up and running. Take a look around to make sure everything works as expected. Check your device's IPs and any custom plugins you might have. If it's all good, congrats! You've successfully upgraded NetBox. If something goes off, don't panic. Check the logs. Warn log NetBox is a good place to start and see if there are any errors. Most issues are usually related to missing dependencies or configuration mashups. And the final step is to remove the PostgreSQL 12 instance. If you found this explanation helpful, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more DevOps and NetBox tutorial.